Sunday the 12th of July and this is your national weather update. It was a relatively dry week last week, but the interesting stuff was the minimum temperatures. It got pretty chilly, especially down in the southeast, and as well very foggy with the strongest inversion layer ever recorded in the southeast. So that was pretty epic if you were down there. Fog everywhere. Otherwise, there was large spread frost risk, and that is, I can tell you, not coming in with us next week, which is great news. So let's have a look at what is happening this week unfolding. In the southeast, we have a front moving through the next few days, and it weakens progressively. The worst of it was delivered on Sunday. Then it sort of dries out and stabilizes for most of the country with a high pressure system moving in. On Thursday in the southwest, we have a front moving in with light to moderate rainfalls, and we have an upper level intensification occurring, which is delivering multiple days of light to moderate rain up in the north coast of the New South Wales region. This is fed by tropical moisture from a very warm Pacific Ocean, and as well as like a little mid-level cutoff low. Very, very cool sort of mid-level dynamics occurring. Let's have a look at wind very briefly. It is relatively strong in the south at the start of the week again. As those frontal systems move through, you can see gusts 63 to 90 kilometers an hour. That is leading to these marine wind warnings of gale force winds down in the southeast. That should weaken as the front moves through over the next few days. As for temperature, it does not get anywhere near as cold as it does last week, so the only regions that are possibly having those negative temperatures is high altitude alpine regions, but the frost and fog is not very high. There's a potential for fog as the high moves over you and it cools down light winds as those days progress. Having a quick look at the long range forecast, the Pacific Ocean continues to warm and our El Nino continues to intensify in its strength. We still have a split in the models whether it will be a very strong El Nino or a moderate, so no certainty there. The southern annular mode, which has been dominating some of our weather at the moment, it contracts the polar jet, which means that all those big cutoff lows and those fronts are staying down in the Southern Ocean and not making their way onto land. It's why we haven't had a super windy or wet winter. That heads back into the neutral phase as the next few days continue. So that's likely to mean that if those systems do develop, that they can have the possibility of making their way a little bit further onto land than when we had a very positive southern annular mode. Finally, the Madden-Julian oscillation seems to be staying in a relatively neutral phase for the next few weeks coming up ahead. So that is the story for Australia this week. We have at the start of the week the front moving through the southeast, and then it calms down as a high pressure system moves over. And on Thursday we have the front developing in the southwest and the rainfall arriving in the northern New South Wales coast. For the rest of the country, it's relatively calm and stable for the week. We have state-by-state breakdowns with more details for you available online through Farm Online Weather or through the sub emails as well if you're part of that. So look there if you want a further detailed breakdown of your week ahead. Have a good one and stay safe.